James Freeman. Close James Freeman biography at Freeman WSJ James Freeman at WSJ.com. August 11, 2023, 48 p.m. ET. Attorney General William Barr at the Eisenhower Executive Office Building in Washington, D.C. Photo: Drew Anchor/Getty Images. Over the course of his sterling legal career, Attorney General William Barr hasn't lost very often in court. But looking back now, he may be savoring the memory of one notable defeat. That's because a precedent from that case allows President Donald Trump to implement pro-growth tax reform immediately. Mr. Trump seems eager to seize the day. "We are going to be looking at capital gains for the purpose of creating jobs," the president said on Saturday. Then on Monday at his White House press conference, Mr. Trump elaborated that we're looking at also considering a capital gains tax cut, which would create a lot more jobs. "So we're looking very seriously at a capital gains tax cut and also at an income tax cut for middle-income families." He added that a cap gains tax cut would result in a lot of people put to work. He's right about that. "Create a greater incentive to invest and you'll get more investment, which encourages more job creation and higher wages. Here's the opportunity for reform, thanks to Mr. Barr's one-time courtroom disappointment. The administration can end the unfair method the Internal Revenue Service uses to calculate taxes on investment gains. Essentially, the IRS has been taxing not just gains, but also imaginary gains that are purely the result of inflation and represent no real gain at all for the investor. This injustice to the taxpayer means that depending on when people buy and sell assets, they can sometimes end up paying taxes on gains that are entirely the result of inflation. So the government can reduce the value of a US dollar and then tax a citizen's losing investment as if it's a winner. The good news is that since tax law doesn't precisely define the original cost of an investment, the Trump Treasury can reasonably decide to tax only actual gains, not imaginary ones, and the government's ability to rationally define cost on an inflation-adjusted basis is stronger thanks to a losing case once brought by Mr. Barr. Back in 2002, when he was the general counsel at telecommunications giant Verizon, Mr. Barr was arguing that cost has a specific meaning in law. Not everyone agreed. Yochi Dreesen reported in the Journal, in a major defeat for regional phone companies, the Supreme Court upheld the government's authority to force the giant bells to lease their networks to competitors at heavily discounted rates. The 5-3 ruling ends a long legal battle over the way the Federal Communications Commission sets rates that the bells, such as New York-based Verizon Communications Corporation, charge upstart rivals leasing access to the company's local phone networks. The FCC bases those rates on the hypothetical costs that competitors would incur building a new phone network from scratch using the best technology currently available, not on the historical costs the bells incurred in actually building their systems, which are estimated to be much higher. The court noted that beyond telecommunications, businesses use different methods to calculate costs and it was not precisely defined in statute. Mr. Barr's defeat may have been partly the result of his earlier tenure as U.S. Attorney General during the George H.W. Bush administration. Ironically, it was during this first experience as Attorney General that Mr. Barr allowed attorneys in Justice's Office of Legal Counsel to claim that the Treasury did not have the authority to define the cost of an investment on a sensible, inflation-adjusted basis. The Supreme Court set Mr. Barr straight in 2002 on a nearly identical question. Thanks in part to that decision, now President Trump has the ability to provide immediate relief to investors and the U.S. economy by announcing that the government will no longer tax phony gains representing nothing more than inflation. "We're creating new incentives for work and jobs," said President Trump on Monday. Indexing capital gains to inflation expands the incentive to create more of both. His administration can implement this reform today. And he can thank his Attorney General for Mr. Barr's most brilliant courtroom defeat. Cuomo accounting: one has to be a very careful and diligent consumer of news to appreciate that both the overall death toll and the per capita death toll from COVID-19 are much higher in New York State than in any of the Sun Belt states routinely subjected to media scorn. Now it appears that the horrific cost of New York's misguided early decision to force nursing homes to accept infected patients is much larger than previously reported. Bernard Condon, Matt Sadensky and Megan Hoare note for the Associated Press, New York's coronavirus death toll in nursing homes, already among the highest in the nation, could actually be a significant undercount. Unlike every other state with major outbreaks, New York only counts residents who died on nursing home property and not those who were transported to hospitals and died there. That statistic could add thousands to the state's official care home death toll of just over 6,600, but so far the administration of Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo has refused to divulge the number, leading to speculation the state is manipulating the figures to make it appear it is doing better than other states and to make a tragic situation less dire. That's a problem, bro, State Senator Gustavo Rivera, a Democrat, told New York Health Commissioner Howard Zucker during a legislative hearing on nursing homes earlier this month. It seems, sir, that in this case you are choosing to define it differently so that you can look better. Could New York officials look any worse? I could not, alas, for Jenny Jukin, Esquire. Mayor J.D. stays, more eponymous, Chief Best thinks better of it. Anonymous. This column will not publish on Wednesday and Thursday but will return on Friday. Mr. Freeman is co-author of The Cost, Trump, China, An American Revival, now available for pre-order from Simon & Schuster. Follow James Freeman on Twitter. Subscribe to the Best of the Web email. To suggest items, please email best@wsj.com. Teresa Votso helps compile Best of the Web. Thanks to Tony Lima and the Miles Pollan, Mr. Freeman is also the co-author of Borrowed Time, from Harper Business. Copyright 2020 Dow Jones & Company Incorporated. All rights reserved. 8799 Oak Bay 856818 D5 EDAC 44C7B1 Abate. Let's block ads. Why?
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.